First, welcome to the video. Today we will explain why valid credit card transactions cannot be deleted from your bank records and what real options you actually have. We will cover reimbursement versus disputes, walk through decision paths, and give prevention tips. By the end, you will know exactly what to do after a wrong card purchase and how to protect your credit integrity. Next, here is our agenda. We will begin with the immutable nature of transaction records. Then, we will outline the only real fixes, compare reimbursement and dispute, and move into a step-by-step correction guide. Afterward, we will explain how disputes actually work, show what counts as disputable versus not, and finish with prevention strategies. Along the way, we will include 2 short quizzes and then wrap up with a practical recap. Now let's set the record straight. Valid card transactions cannot be erased. Banks maintain immutable transaction histories to comply with laws, enable accurate accounting and audits, and protect against fraud. If a payment was made and captured, it remains part of the official record. Asking customer service to delete a legitimate charge will not work and waste time. Moving on. Here is why records stick. First, legal and audit requirements mandate that banks keep a permanent, accurate trail of all transactions. Second, security systems and fraud monitoring depend on a consistent history. Third, accounting integrity is essential to financial reporting and compliance. Fourth, bank policies do not remove legitimate transactions. If you try to conceal a mistake, you may draw additional scrutiny or risk your relationship with the issuer. Therefore, keep your focus on the 2 real remedies, reimbursement or a proper dispute when it truly qualifies. Additionally, let's compare reimbursement and dispute. Reimbursement applies when you made a valid purchase but used the wrong card, such as a personal item on a corporate card. The fix is to submit an expense correction, repay the card if needed, or return the item and repurchase with the correct card. This maintains integrity with your bank and employer and is typically fast once you follow policy. In contrast, a dispute is appropriate for fraud, billing errors, or services not rendered. You initiate it with your issuer, provide evidence, and meet deadlines. Misusing disputes for legitimate purchases can damage your relationship with the bank and may be considered abuse. Disputes also may take time to resolve over 1 or more billing cycles. Now here is a clear sequence to fix a wrong card purchase. First, document the purchase by saving receipts, confirmations, and timestamps. Second, notify the appropriate party, such as your employer's card administrator, as soon as possible. Third, submit an expense correction or reimbursement request in line with your company policy. Fourth, when feasible, return the item and repurchase using the correct card. Fifth, promptly repay any owed amount to avoid confusion or delinquency. Sixth, retain all supporting proof for audit and reconciliation. Seventh, monitor your statements to confirm the correction and any credits are properly posted. Next, this decision tree shows your path after using the wrong card. If the purchase is not legitimate, the route is to file a dispute, provide evidence, allow the issuer to investigate, and await the decision. If the purchase is legitimate, determine whether it was personal on a business card or business on a personal card. In either case, notify the appropriate party, submit reimbursement or expense correction, consider returning and repurchasing, keep documentation, and reconcile your statement. A clear warning note reminds you not to ask the bank to delete a valid charge. Now for our first quiz. The question is, after accidentally using your corporate card for a personal purchase, what is the correct action? Option A, dispute the charge to get it removed. Option B, ask the bank to delete the transaction. Option C, seek reimbursement via the company's process or return and repurchase. Option D, ignore it and hope it falls off later. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to seek reimbursement through your company's process or return the item and repurchase with the appropriate card. The transaction remains in the record. You correct it via internal procedures, not by trying to delete it. Moving on, let's clarify disputes. A dispute is a formal process designed for fraud, billing errors, or services not rendered. You must file promptly, often within 60 days of the statement date, and supply evidence such as receipts, correspondence, or proof of non-delivery. Misusing disputes for legitimate purchases can harm your standing with the issuer and may be considered policy abuse. Here we visualize a simplified dispute flow under typical rules. The cardholder reviews the statement and files a dispute with the issuer within the deadline. The issuer acknowledges and requests evidence, which the cardholder provides. The issuer initiates a chargeback to the merchant. The merchant either presents evidence to counter the claim or issues a credit. The issuer evaluates the merchant's response and may grant provisional credit while the investigation proceeds. Finally, the issuer posts the final decision to the cardholder's account. Timeframes and sufficient documentation are critical at each step. Let's break down examples. Fraudulent card-not-present charges are disputable due to unauthorized use. Being billed twice for a single purchase is a billing error and disputable. If goods never arrived, that qualifies as services not rendered. If the amount charged differs from the receipt, that is a billing error and disputable. Conversely, using a business card for a personal lunch is not disputable. It is a legitimate purchase and should be corrected through reimbursement. Buyer's remorse on a valid purchase is not disputable. Using a personal card instead of a business card is legitimate. Resolve it through employer reimbursement. Here is our second quiz. Which situation qualifies for a proper dispute with your card issuer? Option A. You used the wrong card but received the goods. Option B. You regret the purchase price after buying. Option C. A fraudulent card-not-present charge you did not authorize. Option D. You meant to use a different card at checkout. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is the fraudulent card-not-present charge you did not authorize. Unauthorized use is a proper dispute scenario. Using the wrong card for a valid purchase is not disputable and should be fixed using reimbursement processes or by returning and repurchasing. To prevent future mistakes, create clear separation between personal and business cards, such as different wallets or sleeves. Set default cards in your mobile wallet and label them clearly. Turn on purchase alerts and daily summaries to spot errors fast. Lock cards you rarely use and unlock them only when needed. Build a weekly reconciliation habit with receipts and statements. Consider virtual cards for specific merchants or categories to reduce risk. Stay trained on your employer's expense policy and timelines. Keep small emergency cash available to avoid accidental swipes. Finally, enable autopay for at least the minimum payment to protect your credit score. This pie chart illustrates typical resolution types, emphasizing that most wrong card incidents are solved through reimbursement or expense correction, followed by a significant portion via return and repurchase. A smaller share represents legitimate disputes, and a minimal segment covers unresolved or policy escalations. These proportions are illustrative and not based on empirical data. Here are the key points to remember. You cannot delete legitimate transactions. Fix wrong card purchases through reimbursement or by returning and repurchasing. Use disputes only for fraud, billing errors, or services not rendered. Act quickly, keep thorough documentation, and follow policy. Prevent future errors with alerts, default card settings, and routine reconciliation. Finally, a quick disclaimer. This content is educational and does not constitute legal, accounting, or financial advice. Policies, card network rules, and laws vary by issuer, employer program, and jurisdiction. Consult your card issuer, employer administrators, and qualified professionals for guidance specific to your situation. To recap, valid charges cannot be erased because records are immutable. Your real fixes for wrong card use are reimbursement or returning and repurchasing. Disputes are reserved for fraud, billing errors, or services not rendered, and must be filed on time with evidence. Reimbursement is an internal correction, while disputes are formal and regulated. Prevent future mistakes through smart wallet setups, alerts, and consistent reconciliation habits. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical finance content. Share your experiences and questions in the comments so we can continue the conversation and help others learn from real-world situations.